A protest just outside the White House from two big, well-known advocacy groups targeting President Biden specifically, asking him to do even more to make the Senate do the right thing, to use every power he has to persuade the Senate to do what they can do and which they so far lack the will and the gumption to effectuate. Under the banner of No More Excuses, Voting Rights Now, activists ordered by People for the American Way and the League of Women Voters were there to call out President Biden to ask him to do more, to do more, to do more, to do everything he can to change the filibuster rules so that Democrats can protect voting rights. At the White House fence, People for the American Way, President Ben Jealous called through a megaphone, quote, "It's time to step up. It's time to step up." He led protesters in a chant of, "Hey, Joe, the filibuster's got to go." Joining us now is Ben Jealous. He's president of the progressive group People for the American Way, which is one of the groups leading today's protest outside the White House. He's the former president and CEO of the NAACP. Mr. Jealous, Ben, it's really nice to see you, my friend. Thank you for being here tonight.
It's great to see you, Rachel.
Tell me about today, and tell me about your strategic thinking behind trying to do so, behind what you did today, and how this demonstration was targeted.
You know, we have for months, as you said, we've pled, we've petitioned, we've protested the Senate, the Congress. And what's become clear is that the Senate is not going to pass a bill unless the president of these United States himself demands that they do whatever they have to do to pass it. We saw President Trump demand that the Senate change the rules so that he could pack the Supreme Court. Joe Biden can certainly do the same thing to make sure that we save our democracy, demand that they change the rules. You know, it shouldn't be easier to fix roads and bridges than it is to ensure that our democracy works.
What would it look like to you if President Biden was doing everything that could be done on this score? You're asking him to step up, to do more, to make this priority one, to bring all the powers of the presidency and all his personal powers of persuasion to bear on this. Tell me what that would look like, the signs, if this effort was successful, how you'd know, what you'd see from the president that would convince you that he was there.
You would see the president publicly call on the Senate to remove the filibuster as an obstacle to passing the voting rights bills that must be passed if we're going to stop our elections from being stolen. Right now, Georgia, Texas, and Arizona have all empowered their politicians to overturn the decision on the people of that state. If they don't like the way that the next election goes, they've actually said that their state legislature can just install a different governor. It's insane. And the only way that we can stop this is to actually ensure that this bill passes, that the For the People Act passes, that the John Lewis Voting Rights Act passes the Senate. And what that requires is you got to get the filibuster out of the way. We've done that for roads and bridges. Trump did it to pack the Supreme Court. Joe Biden can do it to ensure that our democracy is preserved.
And Ben, one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you about this is that I know that that the struggle for social justice and the struggle for civil rights is a lifelong commitment of yours, both in your scholarship, in your life, in your activism. And I feel like you think deeply about how tactics fit into overall strategies here. And, you know, the easy way to think about this is having inside and outside tactics working towards the same direction. I feel like there's been a lot of wind and a lot of ink expended talking about what the options are for voting rights proponents in terms of getting this done. And it just doesn't seem like anything's budging. Do you think that direct action is the key to unlocking this? Do you think it's one of a multiplicity of strategies? How do you see that working?
Yeah. And my fear is that Joe Biden thinks that he's called to be the FDR of this moment when he's actually called to be the LBJ of this moment. Yes, you have to lead on the economy and you have to deal with wars overseas. You also have to step up, President Biden, and ensure that the voting rights of your fellow Americans are protected. And he is a master of the Senate like President Johnson, and he knows what the problem is. So just call it out, Mr. President. Tell your former colleagues in the Senate they've got to get these bills through. And if that means changing the rules, so be it. He knows these rules aren't written into the Constitution. There's nothing sacred about them. And there's multiple ways to do it. So he just needs to make it clear. At the end of the day, the person who can put the most pressure on Joe Manchin, on Kristen Sinema, even encourage Senator Murkowski is Joe Biden.
Ben Jealous, president of People for the American Way, former president and CEO of the NAACP. Ben, thanks for joining us. I know it's been a day, an intense day out in the hot sun. Thanks for being here tonight to help us understand.